Mint Press, in their interview with Scott Ritter, and, Scott Ritter, former UN's weapons inspector, he's saying that the collapse of Israel is imminent. And here are the reasons he gives. For those of you that, you're all horrified by what's going on in Gaza, but I would imagine it impacts some, some of you could have family in Gaza, etc. I don't want to overstate this and say Israel is going to stop their genocide tomorrow, but these are the words of Scott Ritter saying that Israel's collapse could be coming sooner than later. First, he starts off talking, I should say, about the terror plot, the terror attack that Israel perpetrated in Lebanon on all of the, thousands injured, thousands lost their eyes, dozens lost their lives in Lebanon because Israel booby-trapped, I guess is the term, which I feel like we need a new term that doesn't sound so silly. All of the the pagers and walkie-talkies, etc. In that regard, Scott Ritter says, this is something that is unjustifiable under any circumstances. There is no element of the law of war that would allow this kind of indiscriminate attack. The attack, he said, will have widespread implications, not least for Western corporations who were caught unaware. Quote, this is going to create a crisis of confidence among consumers that could end up costing Western companies billions of dollars. It seems like it's, for all of those capitalism lovers out there, seems like it is not great for capitalism to have people just snatching up commodities during the supply chain and just booby-trapping them to explode in your face. I feel like that might hurt the so-called free market a little. Here's another quote. He says, could end up costing Western companies billions of dollars. Anybody with any shred of common sense will immediately throw away their Western-made electronic devices and source from a country such as China, where Israel is not going to be able to infiltrate and corrupt the integrity of the electronic device to achieve either intelligence collection goals or assassination goals. And yeah, this does bring up an important point where, yes, them grabbing up these devices and rigging them to explode is pretty rare. But I would imagine grabbing up these devices in order to infiltrate them, in order to put in listening devices or whatever else they have to do to be able to monitor everything, that's probably far less rare than the whole blow up your crotch situation. Here's another quote from Scott Ritter. Hamas right now, in my opinion, is winning this conflict. They are winning it strategically. They are paying a horrible price for it. But on October 6th, nobody was talking about the creation of a Palestinian state. Today, it is on the tip of the tongue of so many people around the world. Why? Because the world has seen the truth about Israel. The article in Mint Press then continues, not only that, but Israel is eating itself from within. Its military is seriously depleted, which its military was never great to begin with. I mean, they are not well trained, most of them. Everybody in Israel has to be in the military at some point, but that doesn't mean that they are hardened warriors. He says its military is depleted, its economy has been shattered by rocket attacks and by 12 months of war economy, and its society is beginning to fragment. The United States, too, has been damaged, is increasingly isolated on the world stage, and its prestige is slipping. Fewer nations look to Washington for leadership and instead see organizations such as BRICS as the future. So those are the reasons that Scott Ritter gives for Israel's collapse being imminent. I have brought you many aspects of Israel's economy that is collapsing. Over 46,000 businesses had collapsed as of 2 months ago. Now, by the end of the year, that number is supposed to be 63,000 businesses across Israel have gone bankrupt. Some of their largest ports have essentially zero business, zero ships showing up. And of course, then there's the drain of human beings that is happening in Israel right now. Many Israelis hold multiple passports, multiple citizenships, and so many of them are leaving. And yeah, they may say to themselves, I'll come back when there's no war going on. But the way Israel's behaving right now, this war, there's not going to be any back to normal. This genocide will not end in back to normal. Sure, Israel could continue this genocide until they've killed every last person in Gaza, but there will be no back to normal for Israel. And of course, there was never any normal for those people in Gaza living in an open air prison. So those people that leave Israel, they go back to the United States, they go back to other countries, and they say, oh, I'll come back to Israel when there's no more war. They're not going to come back. They're just going, oh, well, we'll go there soon. And they they're just not doing it. So you have a mass number of people leaving Israel. On top of that, you have China. It is telling its citizens to leave Israel as soon as possible. They're saying this because of the risk of larger war with Lebanon. Much of northern Israel has been evacuated due to this war with Lebanon that Israel has picked itself. Israel has chosen this war with Lebanon, with Hezbollah, both in their bombing of Lebanon, but also in their genocide of Gaza, which was why Hezbollah started bombing them to begin with. Anyway, there's a lot of good evidence that the collapse of the Israeli economy is ongoing, but obviously with the amount of money that the U.S. can print at will and how much it can give to Israel, who knows what that ultimately means for the Israeli economy.